Welcome to the show, Jim.
Nice to see you again,
Yes.
Athens. Always good to be here.
Deja vu.
Yeah. Artist Open Studio. I'm the publicity chair. That's why I get to do this all the time.
Yes.
Call into your Blog Talk radio show. We have an April 4th preview show at Gallows Center. It's free. It's a good place to buy maps. We have 57 artists, so we're going to each have a piece up in that show, where we get you the incentive of who you might look for, where you might go, pick up a map, kind of browse through it, and see if it's worth the $10 or free for students 18 and under. Now, what we're doing is, this is the Stanislaus Travel and Tourism Roundtable produces this, but this is for visual artists in our county, and it's similar to the Santa Cruz Open Studio Tour, the Napa, like that. We're in our third year now. So it's 35 stops, 35 studios, Oakdale, one in Riverbank, one in Escalon, many of them in Modesto and in Turlock.
I'm going to open this up a little bit and kind of give a visual tour of what's inside the book, because in addition to this being a ticket, it also has a map on the inside as well.
Actually has several maps. We have a number of areas, like we said, Oakdale, Turlock have contingents that deserve a map. One in North Modesto leading up to Riverbank and Escalon has its own map, and a map of Modesto and Oakdale. So this is put together by Linda Knoll, who's one of the artists featured and one of our Purchase Prize Award winners for the second time. And on the back of our map, we have an entry form for a drawing for one of 5 original pieces of art that have been paid for by the steering committee and will be given away in a drawing. All you have to do is fill out the form, put it in a box at any of the studios, and win.
Let's back up the palette paper here for just a minute to what you just said. It's one of 5 that's been paid for by the steering committee. That's very nice that the artwork has been paid for and not asked to be donated by the artists.
This is absolutely a support the local artist effort.
And here's your map.
It's a good trip to purchase art from the studios. I have a small piece. This is a 4x6 frame made up this week. These are $20, and these are 4 dozen of them in my studio.
My favorite. Here, I'll hold that.
But
I'll go ahead and hold this, because
we have
frogs are my
everything from
favorite.
ceramics to art jewelry to paintings to sculpture. Tom Rudholm, one of our award winners, he is a wood carver. Don Hall down at San Joaquin Potters Guild and Carnegie Arts Center and Mifflin Gallery. Great Raccoons ceramicist. We have watercolors and that sort of thing. So those 5 items are pictured on the back and will be available at the Gallo Show.
Put it here so we can see it. There we go.
The weekend itself is April 6th and 7th, and our hours are from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And for the west side of the county, there's also the Patterson Repertory Theater Art and Wine Gala for the second time at the studio tour.
Yeah, that happened last year too.
They are on the Saturday night. So after hours, 6 to about 10:30, Patterson has their artists on display at the same time we're doing the weekend. So it's a tourism stop and a real opportunity to support visual arts in Stanislaus County.
Now, you had, oh, sorry, I'll put that back up there so we can get a picture. There we go. You had sent me some pictures, and Emmanuel, if you want to try to go ahead and run that slideshow, not the almond blossoms yet, but the slideshow, it should be a few pictures on there to show some of the artist's work up here on the screen in just a moment. Meanwhile, tell us a little bit about this.
Well, these pictures here are oils that I've been doing in a black and white in India ink for the Shades of Grey show coming up at Mifflin Gallery next week. So these are oils from the neighborhood, one of my abstracts, the kind of thing that features in my studio. Now, studio artists, when we show in a gallery, we might have 3 or 4 pieces. At the studio, we may have hundreds of all different sorts of things that we actually work in. So it's not really as limited as the galleries. It gives you an idea what the workspace is like. I got a big mural to paint on. I think it's in the slideshow. We have different demonstrations, printmaking, that sort of thing. So it's a great educational opportunity. We welcome students, welcome kids to come through that are interested in the arts. Like I say, for $10, it's a real value. It's something to see that really does go on a lot in Stanislaus County.
Speaking of students, Are there any places available where somebody can take art lessons?
Currently, Mistland Gallery, in a partnership with Parks and Recreation at the City of Modesto. Some of those classes register on the 4th floor. Sometimes, some of them register at the docent desk at Mistland Gallery. Chartreuse Muse also has classes for kids, as does Carnegie Art Center, I believe.
And the Carnegie Art Center is in Turlock.
In Turlock.
Mm-hmm. You know, Sargon was just asking me a few weeks ago if we could get some more news on about other cities in Stanislaus County besides just Modesto. So you are plugged into a lot of the art scene, not just Modesto, but throughout Stanislaus County.
I just turned in my column for Modesto View. Carnegie Art Center has a spring show. I believe their 30th is coming up. Their deadline for artist entries, and it's open to anyone who wants to enter, is April 9th. Now, we just had the entries for the spring show for Central California Art Association, which is the Mistland Gallery. They have their gala tickets on sale now for $20, and that comes up May 4th. So we have different things. Tonight is Third Thursday Art Walk. We have a second Saturday in nearby Tuolumne County up in Sonora. So you don't have to drive to Sacramento. You can go up the hill and see local artists up there. We also have a Merced Art Hop coming up in April.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So these,
boy, time flies.
yeah, this is a very busy time for arts in our area. I say the Patterson Art and Wine Gala has decided to join the weekend that we are open for a studio tour. We will have change of shows. We have the tea ceremony coming up on Saturday that ends the show at Chartreuse Muse. So they'll have a new show open. We have new art at galleries tonight and every third Thursday in Modesto.
Are we going to be able to run that? Okay, so go ahead and run the slideshow, and we have some pictures that you can kind of give us a tour of. Now, this is the same one from a couple of weeks ago. with the flow. So.
Yeah, well, I'm used to technical difficulties. It's part of the way I do my art.
I love your art, by the way. I'm a huge fan of yours.
Oh, thank you.
Speaking of live TV, you have been making the news quite a bit lately concerning the news. And I know we're still watching the almond blossoms here. I love the almond blossoms. They're great. And I'm happy to hear that the Mistland Art Gallery had that almond blossom show.
Yeah, we did have a few paintings with almond blossoms. I know Tony Pooler did some with his classic cars. So.
That's great. Well, tell us a little bit about, while this kind of finishes going through here, tell us a little bit about your TV debut. And on, was it Good Day Sacramento?
Oh, we got to do a spot with Good Day.
Twice, right? Because one got canceled.
Well, no, we got to do one with Acoustic Rock Society, which we had their Art and Music Expo at Center Stage Conservatory. And that was done at Serrano's, which is now Preservation Coffee and Tea on J Street. And then Tony Pooler and I were able to adjust to technical difficulties. Alan Sanchez able to get a cameraman. We were there at 6:30 in the morning for a 10-minute spot at Mistland Gallery. But Alan's been doing things with Good Day Sacramento that include the Peer Recovery Art Project Gallery on 13th and J. Also the Gallery 909 Student Gallery for Stanislaus State, which is on 10th Street across from the Chartreuse Muse. So it's kind of a series. So we got drafted. We were up early, and that's unusual for artists. Unless we're out to paint, we're not used to being up early.
Up early because we're still up from the night before.
Yeah, well, I had that problem. I was still cleaning out the studio, and I have 2.5 weeks to be ready.
Yeah, I know. When it comes to having your palettes all over the garage, 2.5 weeks, it's like, countdown to T-10.
We were able to get some people. KAZV, George Baker, another one of our sponsors like you, who have helped us with the media. We were able at our luncheon, which is 11 to 1 last Saturday, recruit Tom wrote home, his wife Joan, Alice Richards, our chair for the Artist Open Studio, and Dave Schrader, photographer to talk on their show. And David's got an interesting project. We've got a thing with Midland Gallery, July 27th. It's Romance of Old Havana, focus on Havana exhibit, and it will be a big gala celebration at Martin Peterson Auditorium. So there's a lot going on in the arts.
Yeah, that's something I haven't heard of. So
this is brand new, scoop here.
Talk to me about it tomorrow morning when you call into the radio show.
Will.
Yeah, I would like to have more information about that. So our time here is almost done, but let's go ahead and, what's this?
Oh, this is one of my things I do is I go out and do concert drawings live. So I'm constantly trying to get the bands down. This is Jeremy Norris and Chip Yeager of Jeremy Norris and the Dangerous Mood. This is at Blues and Brews at Heroes. It's every Wednesday night. My first time down there for this session. And so Chip just bought this one from me last night.
I better handle it carefully.
So the musicians are pretty good support.
They are.
As are the local theater companies for the visual arts in Stanislaus County.
Give us one more
pitch. You can buy these wonderful maps for Artist Open Studio Tour April 6th and 7th at Midland Gallery, Carnegie Arts Center, at the First Street Frame Company, Oakdale Chamber of Commerce, Modesto Convention and Visitors Bureau, Oakdale Chamber of Commerce, and for only $10, and they're available now. Anytime during business hours, the docent is more than happy to take your $10, put it in an envelope for the steering committee, and it supports the visual artists in this event.
And we can contact you directly, too.
Look for us on the Artists of Modesto Facebook page, and we have one for the event itself.
Very good. Thank you very much, Jim.